Hello, my sweet friends, and welcome to Kinda Shabby. My name is Becky, and I am so glad you've stopped by. In today's video, we're going to be using book pages, lunch sacks, and craft paper to create some beautiful fall decor for our homes. And we'll also throw in a few other crafting supplies for good measure. Well, I have lots of crafty inspiration for you today, so let's get these projects started. For our first project, we're going to be using our craft paper to form a garland. And we're going to cut several strips of our craft paper, and you want your strips to be about 5 to 6 inches wide. And I'm going to start with 3 strips, but if I need more, I can always add that later. Then I'm also going to take some tape, but you could also use hot glue. And I'm just going to overlap them about 2 inches and then put down my tape. And now we're going to take and roll and crunch up our craft paper, because this is what's going to form the base of our garland. So with all 3 of my pieces joined together, my garland is about 6 feet long. And now I'm taking brown floral wire, and we're going to be wrapping this all the way around. That way it's going to keep our paper from unrolling. But it's also going to allow us to bend it and shape it how we want to when we turn this into our garland. And I saw this on Pinterest at WM Design House, and I just thought this was such a fantastic idea. So we're just going to wrap our length of our garland here with our brown floral wire. So now that we have our garland complete, we are going to need some leaves, and that is where your lunch bags and your book pages are going to come in handy. Now for your leaf shapes, you can trace some foliage that you have on hand. You can trace some images that you find doing a Google image search. But I am going to be using leaves from the Iron Orchid Designs Fruitful Harvest collection. I took 3 of the leaf stamps that I liked, stamped them onto cardstock, and then cut them out. So that is what I will be using for my leaf shapes. I'm simply going to lay my shapes down, trace around those, and now that I have them traced, I'm simply going to cut those out. I have found, due to the thickness of this paper, that 3 pages at a time is going to be what's going to work best for me. But you may be able to do more or less pages depending on how thick your pages are. Those are looking really cute. And so now we're going to take one of our bags, and you want to cut it right along the back seam. Then you're going to cut along the folded edges, and you're going to remove the bottom. And I don't throw these away. These make really cute stamped gift tags, so I always save my scraps. Then you're left with a nice long sheet of paper. And I smooth it out as best I can. And then you're going to fold it into thirds, making sure that your leaf form is going to fit. Now you may have to fold yours larger or smaller depending on what size of template that you're using, but folding it into thirds is the perfect size for my little leaves. And then I'm going to do the same thing, laying out my leaf patterns, tracing and cutting out. Once you have all of your leaf shapes cut out, you can leave them just as they are. They look just fine. Or you could take a pen or some paint and go down the middle and make some detail in your leaf. But I'm going to take my archival ink in the color coffee and go back over that with the same stamp that I used as the template. And so you can see, going back over that with the stamp, they just really look so cute. But again, you could just leave them plain. It is totally up to you. And now we're going to take our beautiful pile of leaves and begin hot gluing them onto our garland. And we're also going to be coming back and adding more embellishments. So you add as few or as many leaves as you would like. So I'm going to go off camera and finish gluing the rest of my little leaves down, and then we'll come back and add a few more embellishments. I am so pleased with how that turned out. I think that is just beautiful. Now I want to add just a subtle hint of color using my fabric. I want to make somewhat of a flower out of this, but not anything that's a real floral element. So I took a mason jar, just a small one, and I traced out and cut out circles, and then I went back with my pinking shears just to add some cute little detail to the edges of my circles. And I've used these two fabrics that I picked up from Hobby Lobby, and I thought they are just such beautiful autumn colored fabrics. Then I used a 2-inch punch to punch out circles, again using our book pages and also our lunch bags. So now I want to go ahead and assemble these into a flower. So I'll take one of my fabric circles, and you can see that the fabric is a little bit larger than the paper, and that's so it would extend around the edges. So I'm just going to glue in the middle here and just glue my circle to my fabric. Now I'm going to come back in with one of my book page circles, and I'm going to do the same thing and just glue that down into the middle of my lunch bag circle. And I have these half round wood beads, and I'm going to glue one of the wood beads into the center just like that. And I've got two colors here. I've got a copper and a gold acrylic paint, and there's enough in the lid there. Oh, I like it. And then I'm going to take the paper and just crunch that up and do the same thing with that paper. So then it looks a little bit like a flower, and once I make all of those, I'm going to glue them onto my garland, and that is just going to add just a little hint of color, and I just think that is going to be so cute. So I've got everything glued together here, and I have alternated the positions, some with book page on top, some with the lunch bag on top, some I have painted copper, some I have painted gold. And also, I thought that the gold was a little bright, so I went back over the top to tone it down a little bit. I'm not sure if that's showing up on camera, but I went back over it with a little bit of the antiquing wax just to make that gold not quite so yellow. So now I'm just going to come back and fold up all of my papers on each one of my little flowers here, and then I'll get them laid out and glued onto my garland. So everything is glued and painted and scrunched up, and this is my center right here. So now all I need to do is just start laying these out and alternating colors and patterns, and then once I figure out where I want everything to lie, then I can come back and start gluing everything down. And now I have all of them arranged how I like, and I'm just going to come in and start in the middle and work my way to this end and then to the other, just gluing everything in place. I am so pleased with how this turned out. I really just love it. So now all I need to do is get it styled up and give you a closer look at how cute this week's project turned out. As always, I appreciate you spending a bit of your time here with me today, and I hope you enjoyed this simple yet elegant fall project. Please remember to subscribe for more kinda shabby but always chic crafty inspirations. And until next time, my sweet friends, be blessed.